Day 27 of doing a LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, guys, we're back again. Another day, another LeetCode problem. Day 27. And I don't see any sign of stopping anytime soon, guys. It's all about discipline. Remember, we're trying to stay disciplined and we got to keep doing these LeetCode problems so we can learn. It's all about repetition. If we got to do them a million times, we're going to do them a million times. It doesn't matter. We're trying to get this money. We're trying to get to the money and we're going to do what we need to do to get to it. So, with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to run these subscribers up. I'm trying to run this engagement up, and I need you guys to help me do that. So go ahead and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to go like, comment, and subscribe to this page so we could get these subscriptions up. Go ahead, drop that bank emoji in the comments. Or if you have a question you need help with and you want me to help you with it, go ahead, drop the question, the LeetCode question. Just drop the LeetCode number. You don't have to type. If you want to, you could type out the whole name of the question or the whole question, but just type out the number and the name of the question and I'll get to it when I can. Okay, so let's see what question we have here today. Today we have question number 11, container with the most water. The difficulty level is medium. So, I mean, we still going to keep it simple and easy, even if it is medium. That ain't stopping us from making our code easy to understand. The question is medium, the code is going to be easy to understand. Hopefully for you guys. Hopefully I do a good job at explaining it. So let's see what the question says. It says you are given an integer array height of length n. There are n vertical lines drawn such that the two endpoints of the ith line are I, 0 and I, height index I. Find two lines that together with the x-axis form a container such that the container contains the most water. Return the maximum amount of water a container can store. Notice that you may not slant the container. Okay, so let's break that down so we can understand what exactly it is they're saying, because it took me a while to even wrap my mind around what they're even asking. But I think I figured it out, so I'm going to relay that information to y'all and make it easy for y'all to understand. So first, what they want us to do basically is find the area, the greatest possible area that we could find. So you see right here, we have this line, we have the last line, and we have this line. This blue, all this blue is the area, and that's the greatest area possible that we could make out of all these lines. And this is the rectangle that we're using to calculate the area, is the blue. So how we got here, and so let's look at the input first. Let's look at the example. It says the input height is an array of integers. You have 1, 8, 6, 2, 5, 4, 8, 3, and 7. What these numbers represent, they're representing the lines on the graph. This line is 1, the next line is 8, the next line is 6, the next line is 2, and so on and so on. You see, we went from this index 1, which would be 8, all the way to index 7, which would be 7, right? And those are the two indexes we needed to get our output 49. So to get this output 49, well, what we have to do is we have to calculate the area of this blue. First, we have to figure out which of these bars on the bar graph can we connect to make the greatest area possible. And in this example, is this line, it is this bar and this bar, right? So you might be wondering, how did we get 49? So if we do, remember this line is the starting line and this line is the ending line. So remember, so for the sake of this example right here, this is 0 because this is not included. This line right here is not included and is not going to, we cannot get the greatest volume with this line. So we move to this line. And this line, if you count from this line, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So you go 7 to the right from one side of the triangle to the right. And then you multiply that by 7. So 7 7 this way and the height is 7 because this is where the rectangle stops at 7. We're not going off this bar with the 7 to 8 because this bar stops at 7. And remember, it says you cannot slant the container. So that's why we're going right here at the highest point right here, and we're going all the way here, which may not be the highest point, but we can't slant it. So that's where it comes. That's where it ends up. And so when you do 7, this height is 7. The height of the rectangle is 7, and the length is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the height is 7, the width is 7. So to calculate the area of a rectangle, you multiply the height times the width, which gives us 49. So let's look at the explanation. It says the above vertical lines are represented by array 1, 8, 6, 2, 5, 4, 8, 3, 7. In this case, the max area of water, the blue section, the container can contain 49. And that's because it's 7 times 7. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the height is 7. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's how you get 7 times 7 is 49. Because remember, we want the highest possible, the most amount of water, the maximum amount of water. You might wonder why we didn't pick this line right here. And that is because that would be, so this line, the height of this line is 8. And the width of this line, the rectangle that this line would create would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it would be 8 times 5. 8 times 5 is only 40. And remember, we want the maximum amount of water that a container can store. So 40 is nice. 40 is a high number. However, if we use this bar, we could extend the width to 7, and the height will be 7. And 7 times 7 is 49, which is greater than 8 times 5, which is 40, which is why we're choosing this line. Even though it's shorter, the width is longer. So that's where it might get tricky, it might confuse you. We're going with this line because we're adding to the width with this line, and that allows us to do 7 times 7, which will give us 49. Whereas if we did this line right here, it would be 8 times 5, which would be 40, which is smaller than 49, which is why it wouldn't return false, because there's another bar that could give us a greater amount of water that we can store. Now let's look at example 2. It says height equals 1, 1, it'd be 1. And that's pretty self-explanatory because 1 times 1 is 1. Whereas 7 times 7 is 49. 1 times 1 is 1. And so that's why the output would be 1. Now let's see. I hope you guys understood that. I know this is a tricky question to understand, but I hope you guys understood that much. So let's figure out how we are going to solve this problem, this tricky problem that they gave us. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say if height is empty, we're just going to return -1 because we don't even have any integers to multiply to begin with. Then we're going to come down here and we're going to say, we're going to create a variable left. We're going to set that equal to 0. We're going to come down here and create a variable right, and we're going to set that equal to 0. Then we got to create one more variable. We're going to call that max area. Oh, excuse me guys, this is not 0. I'm moving too fast. This is var right. The variable right is equal to height dot count minus 1. So that's going to start at the end of the array, and left is going to start at the beginning of the array. And then we're going to declare one more variable called max area, and we're just going to set that equal to 0 to begin with. Then we're going to say while left is smaller than right, what are we going to do? We got a lot to do. Well, it's not that much. We're going to declare a variable. We're going to call that minimum height, min height. And we're going to set that equal to, we're going to say min height left, comma, height, right. Then we're going to come down here, declare another variable, and we can call that area. And that is going to be equal to min height times right minus left. Then we're going to come down here and we're going to say max area is equal to max. Then it's going to be max area, comma, area. Then we're not done yet because we're going to come down here and we're going to say if height left is less than height right, we are going to say left plus equals 1. Else we're going to say right plus equals 1. And that's going to allow us to iterate through the array. Then we're going to come down here and we're going to say return max area. Let's run it and see what it says, guys. Fingers crossed, guys. Ooh, we got an error. Excuse me, guys. I put the wrong brackets. These should be array brackets. Let's run it again. Fingers crossed. Oh, not. Oh, I do this. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. Right here should be right minus equals 1 because remember, we're not incrementing, we're going down. So I assume that's decrementing. I'm not sure, but remember, we're starting at the right and we're trying to go towards the left as we go count down from height.count, which would be the end of the index. So this should be right minus equals 0. Let's run it again. And there it is, guys. Let's submit it and see what happens. And not too bad. 218 milliseconds beat 52.33% of users with Swift. It's not bad at all, guys. But remember, I'm sorry I messed up right there. Remember, the right is counting backwards from the end of the array, and the left is counting forwards from the beginning of the array until they meet in the middle. So that's why right is minus equal 1 and left is plus equal 1, because we are going up from the beginning of the array and we're moving up indexes from the beginning of the array, and right we're moving down indexes from the end of the array, which is why that's minus equal 1. And until next time, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow.